because we really haven't done that. And I think that we have some funds and there's lots of beautification things we could do around, you know, even our own building,
So
obviously.
the 30 is spent. I mean, to me, hopefully you guys understand the budget. It's spent.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about the 8 that's extra. To me, you know, it's just gonna roll over into the general fund at year's end if we don't spend it. So, I mean, to me, this is a great project. I mean, it's fine with me, you know, at some amount. I mean, 5's a lot, but
I mean,
if
really,
the
we're not
county
picky.
comes in and gives a little too.
And go for
Yeah.
it. Go for it. I mean, I'm just kind of an end game
We can
girl
table
where
it,
I
that's
could
fine,
see.
but-
Table with some,
But-
trying to figure out how much.
By the 28th, I think we better make a decision. I mean, you guys need
Well,
to get this behind you, we can focus on them begging people for money.
could this come out of next year's budget then?
Not if we commit this year or commit.
No, we don't.
So we're about to get the budget, and we'll talk about this 30 again, but the 30 this year's already been spent. The 8's really, yeah. I mean, ask for 5. We still have 3 left that we can kick towards some of these sidewalks.
Okay,
Or the pool filters that we need to get
We
replaced.
got one thing left. Possibly.
So, where are we?
Are we tabling or are we?
Tabling it, I think.
That's my
want to
opinion.
table it till the next meeting?
Not really.
Not really? Well, I don't think so. Soon as it's done, we'll move on.
We'll have hopefully one more person here who can go.
We've got enough information to work off of though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I don't really want to table it. I mean, I think we just need to decide, do we want to spend 5 or not? Or do we want to spend something less? Sounds like 3 we want to table, so that's fine. We can table it. It's tabled, right? You already said table.
Okay, we'll table this till the next meeting. And Dirk makes up a, we'll have a work session in between them.
Oh, okay,
I
table.
don't, I just want to get it done. All right,
No, that's not what
Okay.
you said.
move on to ordinance 868, which is, ordinance of the town of Lakeview authorization and loans from the special public works fund by entering into an amended financing contract with the Oregon Infrastructure Finance Authority. You know this?
Is this for what?
Basically, it's amending that agreement that we
This
had
is-
earlier because the bids came in more than what the,
This.
For cataracts though?
Yeah.
842, is that what you said?
No, 840, or 868 is what's on here, what this ordinance is, the one I'm reading.
Well, the only ordinance I see here.
It's this one right
Oh, that's
here.
that's the one,
I'm
sorry, with
Never
Cobar's.
mind.
Yes.
It's this paper.
868 is just amending the original contract to
I read
include
it, but here.
the difference in what the bid was.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. I missed that. I would move that we approve ordinance, is there any discussion?
Well, you can still make your motion, and we'll have a discussion.
Ordinance 868, that we vote on ordinance number 868, an ordinance of the town of Lakeview authorizing a loan from the Special Public Works Fund by entering into an amended financing contract with the Oregon Infrastructure Finance Authority.
That was a lot.
So I second with discussion still, because I
The
think
water
we
and
should,
sewer extension.
I think we should still have a little discussion on this. So it's, I think, you know,
Big chunk.
yeah, pointed out, it's a pretty large jump. I'm not sure how it got so much higher. But regardless, I mean, this is part of the Red Rock project. We heard today from engineer assistant who just walked out that we may talk about sewer lagoons and changing water flow, cooling. I'm just worried that that may open up this road again if we don't get that resolved quickly. I mean, when we're putting down water lines now and then are we potentially now going up M Street to get to the sewer lagoons now as well?
It's a much more complicated
Yeah, it's-
system that she's letting on,
Oh, yeah.
because there's a lot of players. There's DEQ, there's EPA, there's temperature restrictions on the permit we operate under right now.
Right.
And I can't imagine them heating that water up to 120 or
And then
30
they're getting
degrees,
that
not gonna put
cold,
us
but-
out of compliance. So then we're gonna need more holding time for it to cool back off, and it's far from a simple fix.
So are they offering to pay for any of that?
Well, they're offering, I believe,
Yeah, they will have to.
they would have to pay for all of it.
Okay,
But, you know, if,
And none of our
But there's a-
agreements
I think,
currently are
in
to
my
take
opinion,
their excess.
go ahead.
it makes more sense to look at having them pay for another well, something we can use for expansion. You know, I don't have a problem with them using town water. You know, if we're gonna put $750,000 towards this circulation system to use sewer water, why not take that same money and build us another great well? You know, we're gonna make more money off of selling them water out of our treated drinking water and then treating it, you know, in our sewer system than we would to get paid on both ends of it. And we stay in compliance with DEQ and EPA and,
So why don't they use the well that's out there that's dead, or what's wrong, and it's got too much arsenic? Right?
it's a long ways out there.
It is,
Yeah.
well, I'm
And then it would still, there's still the issue of treating the water in our sewer system, so that is gonna, they're kind of looking at this circulation system in lieu of building another holding pond, because we would need another, you know, a couple 100 million gallons of storage in order to do what they're, either way they go, it's gonna take more storage ponds, and I think it would be several years getting all the players to agree to let us use our sewer water. It's just not a matter of doing some purity samples on it and seeing if it's gonna work for them, because I mean, they'll, you know, even if they agree to it, there's still a lot of other players.
Would we be charging them a rate for the sewer water?
Well,
Or
we
is
would
it-
have to, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think, if I can put input in, but I think we need to meet with Daryl again, because we didn't discuss a new well.
No, that's
I think
what
you
I'm
and I
saying.
need to sit down with Daryl like
Yeah, we
ASAP.
need to have a work
Yeah.
session on that,
Yeah.
because this is kind of getting,
My
Yeah.
question is, what happens if that sewer water dries up out there?
well, the sewer water's not gonna dry up.
Well, no, not,
You have a million
not,
gallons of-
not the one pond, but I'm talking about the ones across the road.
Yeah, well, we keep that as full as we want it.
Okay,
I
So-
But it's a much more complicated system than she is letting on.
Well, when you said that, I mean, that's a long way to Red
what I
Rock
was
from the
thinking.
sewer ponds.
Yeah,
So would it be like underground or
it would have to be, yeah.
big
Definitely
overhead tunnel?
It would have to be underground.
Not
Full of dirty
Arizona.
water?
we got a motion on the floor, I just need a second.
So who's actually, I mean, we're entering into this agreement loan fund with the state, essentially. Are we paying back or is Red Rock paying us back?
Part of this, Red Rock already paid $97,000 into this project,
Which is
And
the
the
low
in-
amount we had originally.
right? And the increase, to my knowledge, will fall back on the town.
Oh,
Whereas before, none of it
So
was.
what
it wasn't
exactly
negotiated.
is this
Yeah,
loan
there's
money
no-
going to be used for?
To lay the water sewer line down there on Catherine.
Okay, so it really has nothing to do with the sewer ponds?
No.
Exactly.
That's another
Do we
subject.
I mean, that's another discussion we have to
Right.
have, okay.
do we,
Right.
are we, I mean, are we even benefiting, are we getting customers, are we getting anything?
We're
from
not
this?
getting anything except for the fees that Red Rock will pay back in. Like right now, they're paying $1,500 a month just for water usage. Yeah,
So how long would it take to recoup these costs?
The first year we're equivalent, but there goes that year's, I mean,
yeah.
half of that year's first, payment in lieu of
Yeah,
taxes.
we have a loan.
Whatever.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought, yeah.
30,000 or something.
Yeah, it's
right?
So it'd be a couple years then.
First year, yeah.
So what I'm saying,
And do we have, I mean, there's, why it's cost so significantly more? I mean, it's not a line.
Well, the bids came in a lot higher. In fact, one of them,
All they operated off of was an engineer's estimate, which is very seldom.
correct?
So we essentially, we need to do this, basically, yes.
Yeah, we need to do it, it's just,
Well, but
it's,
if Red Rock really wants to
it's extremely unfortunate that,
do it,
I mean,
this is $170,000.
contracting, we have to contract this out, we can't do it in-house.
No, no, it's gotta be contracted out.
Just like, don't you dare do that.
In
And
fact,
this
we've
is,
already signed the contract with the contractor.
At an amount that wasn't this amount,
That is that
but
upper
it
amount.
is
The
this
upper.
amount. But then we're now saying we need a loan, and so
Right.
now the state's giving us a loan to cover the extra.
They gave us a
amount.
loan, but it doesn't include an increase from Red Rock to pay.
So
other
we're talking
than
about a
fees.
difference of 73,000 roughly that we now are stuck with.
And I think too, because we
Because Red
talked,
Rock's still doing the 97?
right, they already did the 97, but
Okay.
Jeff and I talked with Daryl today, and we have to update all our fees, water fees, sewer fees,
Yeah, I saw
like
that on the report.
yesterday, or geothermal fees. That's kind of off of the motion there, but we are working to get those increases implemented yesterday.
Is the state going to agree to increasing the prison? Never mind. we'll
I don't know
talk
about the
that
prison, but down below, but yeah, we have to increase them all. I mean, that's just something that's
Well,
been
we make a
neglected.
recommendation, and then
Yeah.
there's council have to decide, are we all ready to give up our council seats?
Hey,
do you want that answer? Just kidding.
I've taken the hit for the dirty.
I know.
So,
Okay, but we still have this
Yeah,
ordinance.
yeah, it's on the table.
Did we,
You can call for a vote.
I did.
I
make-
called a second.
I made a motion,
I
and
made a
did you
second.
second it?
Okay, all in
With
favor?
discussion.
All in
That's
favor?
fine.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay,
Or-
motion carried.
Okay.
All right. We got a budget meeting coming up,
28, 5 o'clock.
yeah, Tuesday 28th at 5.
Yeah.
What if they don't
Bring it in because they can't address the sewer issue.
Okay.
Jinx, 1, 2, 3, only do it.
All right. I don't have anything to add. Anybody else have anything to add on the mayor council update? Manager update?
I attended an air quality meeting today
Oh,
as one of my new positions. And I also helped interview for the town swimming pool hirees.
You didn't even get her application in.
So that was fun. I enjoyed it.
I didn't have the liaison
Good for
group,
you.
so.
Thank
We
you for
didn't
covering
know.
for me.
We asked because we didn't know at the time. You weren't here.
No, I was too busy
Okay.
today. That was today?
all right,
No,
we're gonna,
it wasn't today, it was last week.
Wait,
all right, council, we're gonna go into public comment period.
Oh yeah, these poor people have been waiting forever.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Because you guys asked me to
talked
change
about
it to
doing
the
that.
end.
That's fine.
Hi, I'm Michelle Totten. I've been working with the Klamath and County Food Bank from last year, trying to keep the Produce Connection here. Are you guys familiar with that program?
With the what?
The Produce Connection, it's the free fruits and vegetables that they brought over last summer.
Yeah.
So we were trying to find a better location, and we thought we were gonna be able to use the warehouse for the food pantry, but it didn't work out. So, after talking with community partners and some people, everyone thinks the best place would be the kitty park parking lot. And so, yeah, because everybody goes there for the summer.
In front of the building.
Yeah, in the front parking.
Mhm.
And basically what they do is they come, last year they came once a month, the goal is twice on a Friday. Usually they get here about 11 and all the produce and everything is distributed by 4. And so I'm hoping that you guys would consider allowing us to use that area, mostly because the lunch program, that's gonna be a good site. And it's on the highway, so I think a lot of people will see it, stop and get their produce.
Is there a space concern?
So, yeah,
I think
because,
that goes back
It's pretty
to,
packed
Yeah.
with parking.
yeah, the parking is gonna be an issue during summer lunch program. I mean, if it was after 1 o'clock, it wouldn't be, but from 11 till
4.
1, 2-ish, I mean, it's full.
I think it's a great
And the
idea.
other thing is, if you guys remember when we went through this thing with the Saturday market having it down there,
Mhm.
it was not allowed because it wasn't
We
consecutive
wouldn't be
days.
in the Well,
That's
that's,
a little.
So it's basically, the crates are about,
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna take probably 12 feet long
So what-
and about this wide, and we could be right next to the
what
fence.
day is this?
People could theoretically still pull
What
up
day,
and park in
what
front.
day again is this?
So, usually they did the last Friday of the month.
Okay.
I'm hoping to talk them into coming twice this time, this
Well, it's-
summer.
I mean, absolutely phenomenal idea, because there's
Yeah.
people there, and I know I've just recently.
You know, I figure all the
talked about it,
families that come to
but
access
Parking
the
is
free
already
lunch.
an issue there
Well,
on
the
lunch days.
other possibility, although it's not on town property, is where Saturday Market was last summer.
And that's
behind-
county.
On, right next to Burger Queen,
Yeah,
you know.
that lot.
There's
It's
a
not a bad
lot there.
location either, but why not just down
So,
there at the Saturday
Well,
Market
so,
location?
yeah, could we not use the?
Last year-
Original location.
Last year, I think I talked to you,
And we could,
and
because
because
of.
the
But this
pipes
year-
were, well, did they get replaced?
Yeah, they were in the road.
So-
that
So would
went
you
up.
be okay with something like that? I mean, you're obviously in a better location at the kitty park, but this would have more space, I think.
I mean, I'm just going off suggestions from
Yeah.
community partners. I just wanted to get in a place that was,
Physical.
a lot of people were gonna be at.
I think it's okay to use the city parking lot too, but we don't have to worry about anything like that.
No,
You know, just be there, but, you know, there's two locations then you could possibly, but you'd have to go to the county to get
Yeah,
permission.
you can ask the county there, which would be right on the main drag, which would be good, but if it's right there, it's right behind Safeway too, and then it's, you know, if you had somebody out at the main street saying, hey,
yeah.
we're a little simple
So once
sign.
people find out where it's at. then
Yeah,
we'll-
once they find out.
Well, and I
they'll
know
get
they
it.
had problems, you guys did it at various locations,
I
did
had
you
it
not?
Yeah,
on the main
well,
drag, it was kind of a.
That was before I was involved, but we had lost it for a couple of years, and basically my boss allowed me to kind of take it on as a project and get it going again in hopes that I'm gonna step out. So I'm working with the food corp employee and an AmeriCorp employee through the hospital, and hopefully they'll coordinate it. And I think the concept is that they'll have a big role in the, you know, the summer lunch
Yeah,
program as well,
okay.
so they could cross-use volunteers, but, you know, I mean, at this point, we're getting so close. I mean, May 31st is the first delivery, so I just need a place so we can make flyers.
And like
and-
if you had it actually in front of the yellow part, as
Yeah,
far
just
over as you
far
could.
When you say yellow part, you're talking.
The
building.
Sunshine?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's fine, I thought that's what you meant, but.
Because we already, I know I participate, and Norman participates in the summer lunch programs, and it's packed in there. Plus, then you have the pool, the waiting pool, and it's, the parking's a premium already, so I would wonder if it would create more of a issue than it would. Although it may take you less time to get rid of stuff.
Well, I will say that if they're not there for park activities, they're not gonna be there very long.
Yeah.
So they'll pull up, get their produce and leave.
So I think we
So-
need to double check with Janine on our park spot.
Oh, yeah,
And then
that's-
I think we could also make a decision upon, okay, what's the traffic load? So I think your May 31st date is coming up super fast, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason why you couldn't go down there.
Oh, no, we'd be
Outright
fine
right
there.
now.
Yeah, we're fine
And give you
here.
authorization to be
Because
down there.
the lunch program
In the short
won't
term.
start then.
Yeah, I won't even start.
Right,
now.
right.
Yeah. So if you change locations, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't,
And
there's
you don't
no.
wanna
People
have to
get
keep changing.
People get very
locations.
confused,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just,
Yeah, the old marketplace, people know where
Yeah.
it's at, and there would be sidewalk signs
Right.
with arrows pointing.
Yeah, there's no problem with the
And
town parking lot.
and they'll
This is
come,
the same
they
group
will,
that was
with
in
proper
front of,
advertisement, they'll
like,
come
the
wherever, it's
gallery.
just a matter of trying to
So
find.
that was a parking
To
lot.
cross-use volunteers.
Okay,
I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
town parking lot.
so,
But then I'm left solely
Should we
with
just
trying to recruit all my
I
help.
think we should try it.
Whereas
I think
down
we
there,
should
they
try
would
it.
allow the other volunteers to help.
the city parking lot,
Okay,
Yeah, I think we're in agreement
start
concurrence
off with
to
the
start
city
off with the
parking
city
lot, see
parking.
Okay.
how it goes.
And hopefully that works just fine.
Yeah.
and you know where that is.
And it's just Friday.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we went in, that's why I
That's
asked you, we
Okay.
Yeah, let's do
went
that.
in front of that or not.
I think that's the best place to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lot of space.
Inside
so when you say start, you mean
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the place?
Inside the actual parking lot,
Yeah, parking lot area.
like inside, not on the sidewalk. Correct.
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot, you know, we're
kind of put the big.
Oh, yeah, the only reason why we were where we were last year was because we couldn't use them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I just wanna make sure there is,
Yeah.
maybe
It was
provide
awful.
a nice
This is
drive-through
your notes.
system or something.
Okay,
Okay,
all right,
Okay.
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more public comment?
So you're gonna come help them, huh?
I absolutely am.
Okay, hearing none, we will adjourn.
Oh, public comment?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, I think it was in January that I got a call to, come to a meeting, be a part of a meeting to determine, how the taxes from the lodging tax would be distributed. I live in Lakeview. I believe in a fair distribution, etc. But I love my little town, and the only time I ever leave my town is when I'm leaving the state. I really don't explore much. I would, like to be better at that, but anyway, I was really concerned about, there were some things about Lakeview that I really wanted to focus on, little things that tourists would enjoy, like nice strolls through the alleys, more benches, people walk around, visually. But then it just seemed like the whole thing was co-opted by the chamber. It was all about tourist Oregon and all this stuff, and I think that's cool. I think that's great. I'm not expressing myself very well right now. I'm tired after sitting through all of this. My mind is kind of mush.
So is ours.
But anyway, I feel very disrespected because I have not been called to attend the last couple of meetings with no good reason.
We haven't had it.
Well, had there only been 2 meetings? Are
Are
you
you talking about town council, or are you
serious?
talking about the lodging tax?
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
lodging tax committee.
That's
Which
the
has also been
district.
disbanded.
I mean, what happened? Was it just taken over by the chamber or what?
No,
It's
we
now
don't,
this
yeah,
group.
the town
and
council
with Roberta.
made the decision to oversee it because it wasn't functioning for whatever
Good.
reason, I don't wanna take
Because,
any blame.
Ginger came to the first meeting and she kept talking about process. And she was absolutely right. There was no organization. It was, anyway, I'm sorry to be venting, but I felt disrespected and that shouldn't happen. And I also want to comment on the influx of temporary workers that we're going to have with Red Rock. And I remember when the Ruby Pipeline was here, and yeah, it really impacted us, in a negative way. I mean, lines, traffic, rent went up, and the regular people didn't really benefit in a way that they could, how could we tell that it was helping any of us? And I'm also curious to know if the Ruby money is still coming in, how long, what's the
The only money
projected?
we get from Ruby is a small amount for property property tax for a very small area they cross that belong to the town of Lakeview.
We don't get that. Count.
The other land that it went through was county or private.
Rent hasn't gone down. I mean, the influx happens, everything gets raised,
And it'll
and
happen.
then it stays there. Everything gets raised except wages. I mean, it's not easy.
And it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, it's gonna happen again. And grocery stores,
Too late, John.
it's hard enough just having one
It's already gone.
grocery store here. And now we're gonna have this influx of people, and we need more grocery stores.
Well,
This is an
yeah, why don't you work on that,
Yeah.
Jan?
Okay.
if nothing else,
Go to Travis,
Let's
so they can
have a
get
co-op.
holiday market to come.
Let's have a co-op.
Okay.
All right, we will adjourn regular session at 5:35.